वेलकम टू फेस लाइव टॉक शो। आज हमारे साथ हमारे गेस्ट हैं डॉक्टर राज भयानी, जिन्हें कोई इंट्रोडक्शन की ज़रूरत नहीं है। ही इज़ प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ आपी QLI एंड ट्रेजर ऑफ आपी। वेलकम टू द शो डॉक्टर राज भयानी, हाउ आर यू?
Thank you, Rashmiji. I'm fine in the circumstances we are in. That's all we can say. As we are going through one of the most unprecedented event in our lifetime, which none of us have thought in our lifetime we will be seeing this, what is happening around us all over the world. And
Absolutely.
congratulations to you, Rashmiji and Janak Bhai, creating such a wonderful platform. And thank you for both of you for inviting me to be a guest of this show.
Thank you so much, Dr. Raj, and salute to all our doctors and nurses. They are doing great job and putting their life in danger and coming forward to save others' life. So, I really wanted to know that what do you think like about this COVID, how it started exactly? Because there are a lot of myths also. So, I really want to clarify with you first.
Yes, some of the things are still not clear, and as you can use the word murky in the sense that because it started in China, Wuhan province,
Mhm.
a lot of data is still not given in an open way to USA as well as the WHO.
जी.
So there has been a lot of as we would say, anxiety or the unpleasantries between China and USA happening and also rest of the world. Because if China would have given this data in right time to rest of the rest of the world would have been better prepared, and we could have saved thousands of lives by doing better preparation, expecting what to do. But because the data did not come in from Wuhan, we were actually on the wrong foundation and wrong foot, and that's why we are seeing a lot of suffering around all over the world.
Yeah, of course. So I really want to know that till now too much has happened, but still, for a common people, still they are confused to know about the symptoms that when they are like aware of that they are having this COVID-19, they are having
Yeah,
this problem, this disease. So what do you suggest about that?
definitely, the classic symptoms are becoming very clear now and very well known. So, as first, it generally starts as a sore throat, then dry cough, and then people sometimes get fever. They also get some gastric upset. One of the prominent thing people talk about, and I also had it myself, is called loss of taste and smell. I did not have loss of smell, but
Oh,
I had loss of taste.
oh,
So I am also, as we say now, there's a term called COVID survivor,
oh,
and I'm lucky to say that my symptoms throughout the course were very mild. I still have some residual cough, so in case I cough in between, please forgive me. But these are the classic symptoms, and then it does affect almost every organ in the body. It affects the heart, it affects the brain. It becomes a multi-organ issue.
of course. And as you are into this field of ENT, of course, so you know better that the immune system is a major part in this, what is being affected right now. It has to be strong. Otherwise, I think so, बहुत जल्दी effect होता है इसका. That's what we know as a very
That
common
is correct.
citizen. We
Yes.
know we don't have too much of information. This is all what we know.
Absolutely. As you see, the people believe the incidence of COVID patients in India is still very small,
Yeah.
mainly because of two reasons. One is definitely wonderful, I would say, planning by our Prime Minister Modi ji, who had locked down the uh, India in a very ironclad manner.
Yes.
So that was very, very important. And second thing people talk about is the immunity of Indians.
Yes.
So immunity of Indians can be, you can probably have some explanation, which is one of the reason is as Indians we get exposed to a lot of diseases, as we say, blessing in disguise. So more the diseases you're exposed to with infectious diseases, immunity gets stronger, and so that's way people have stronger immunity. At the same time, our Indian customs and Indian food, the ginger and the turmeric and the chawanprash and ashwagandha and justmad,
जी.
all these various Ayurvedic or the Indian food ingredients, they are all immunoboosters. So that also helps Indian people a lot. And third thing is they have done some research And in everybody's blood, white blood cells are there called T lymphocytes,
Okay.
and there are natural killer cells. So these natural killer cells are supposed to be stronger in Indians than rest of the world.
Okay. So, do you think that the age factor really matters with this virus?
Age of definitely yes. The most seriousness is definitely for the patients who are above 60 years old. So the mortality actually becomes very high, as in Italy. Was almost 20% mortality when you go above 70 or 80 years of age, and the but below 60 the course of the disease is very mild, and people, about 90% of people recover. 8 to 9% of people, they actually have serious disease. And as we look at the numbers, the recent statistics shows there are about 3.8 million patients all over the world which are documented and proven by the lab test, out of which 1.3 million almost are in USA, and about 325,000 deaths have been all over the world, and about I would say 80,000 or so in USA. Our New York, New Jersey, where both of us are from, almost 40% of cases in America are in New York and New Jersey. So you can understand we are right in the epicenter of COVID. We are facing, we are here.
Absolutely right. You're totally right. And I would like to tell our viewers will be opening our line soon. You can call it 732-791-6546 and you can ask your question to Dr. Raj. He is with us today. So I really want to know that so much has happened till now. And of course, everybody knows the graph has been going very, very high in USA. So about hydrochloroquine was the thing which we had heard before, and now remdesivir. So about that we are listening that it's really affecting, and the cure is like working, and people are getting cured using that. So how much truth is in that?
Definitely, it does help. Both these medications are very helpful in early stage. So when the early stage is all viral, what we call viral load stage or initial stage, when the virus in your body is replicating at very fast rate.
We
And
have one caller. Can we take a
okay,
call?
definitely
Yeah.
yes.
Yes, you're live with Dr. Bhayani. You can talk to him.
Yes, yes, sir. You are joined. Please ask your question, sir.
Yeah, this is Christian Sasdev from Connecticut.
Yes, sir.
My problem is I'm going to be staying with my daughter in New York. She's a nurse. For a week, I have to stay with her. What are the precautions I should take? Because
It's a very good question, and as see, more precaution is for her than for you. If you're staying home, then what we recommend is protect yourself and protect others. That's the theme. Is the best way to deal with that. So when she's in the hospital, fortunately, in initial stage, the hospitals did not have adequate what we call PPE, personal protective equipment. So now, fortunately, the enough of the N95 masks are available. So when she is in the hospital, she does not get infection. That is what the key part. So as soon as she reaches home, it is very critical. You still should minimize this distance with her as much as you can. We love to sit at the table and have meal together. But during this time, the people who are 60 and above try to keep social distancing at home, and once she comes home, change the clothes, and those clothes immediately wash it away. Don't reuse them again. Take a nice shower, and these are the common things we would recommend that you should follow.
the main problem is when she comes home, clothes I know about. How about the
Yes.
jacket? How
What's
about
the question?
the jacket? I mean, that has to be washed too.
Yes, absolutely. Definitely, everything has to be washed, and she should have two sets of jackets, and ideally three sets, I would say. The when you bring home, you put in the jacket in the wash. Next day, let it sit there, and then third day, wear it again. So if she has three sets of clothes, today you wear one, tomorrow, wash and keep it in the house, don't use it, and by then you have the third one ready to have it on the third day. Same thing with shoes, and because it can spread from the shoes, the hair, it can be anything which can transmit. And so first thing, the healthcare workers when they go home, they have to make sure get rid of those clothes which were worn in the hospital, and also take a good shower and wash away everything and then mix with people.
Do I have to wear mask when I'm around her when she comes? Like I have to go and pick her up because she's
Means
driving?
ideally it will be good. See, you can't be at this time, if you cannot be too overprotective. More precautions you take, better it is for you. Because even if by mistake she suppose has asymptomatic COVID and it's an initial stage when we don't know whether she has it or not, and that's the time she's also very infectious. You can spread the infection that time. So if you're in the house and if you have mask all the time, it's not a bad idea, especially relatives and the close personnel of healthcare workers. They should be extremely careful. Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Very good. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Great.
sir. Thank
Appreciate
you,
it.
Sajidevji. It was
Thank
great, nice talking with you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay,
So
so we will go
we
back to our question
yeah, but
of
we I have one more
hydroxychloroquine.
question. Then we will go to the
Yes,
our topic again. And she's asking that
sure.
I am buying vegetables, but do should I wash with soap or just a warm water?
It's a very common problem, and actually, there are two recommendations for that.
Mm-hmm.
If you just run it under the warm water about 3 to 4 minutes, that will be good. Some people recommend add vinegar to it. So what you do is you bring it to your house, soak it in the vinegar and water, and then rinse it off with the clean running tap water after that. Some people, if you have dishwasher in the house, then you run the cold cycle. Don't use the hot cycle in the dishwasher. And some people also using that. So it's a common sense approach. Main thing is you want to wash out all the produce, fruits, vegetable, perishable, which you might use right away after you bring it home. All the non-perishables which you have, ideally, if you have garage in your house or if you have some kind of porch and your mail also, these all are very easy to transmit the corona through these things as well. You go to the grocery store and you pick up some salt or some packet of salt or something, or even grains, and if that bag has been touched by somebody else, you don't know. And then virus can stay on those inanimate objects as long as up to max means it has been reported up to 37 days, but I
Oh,
think the 72 hours is the ideal time.
okay.
About 99% viruses will be killed. So if you don't touch it, let it lie in an area where nobody's going to touch it, and in that virus will be gone by 72 hours. Then you bring it in your house and then use it. If you are really in a rush, then you should have some wipes in the house. And if you want to use that grain of rice and you have to open the bag right away, or suppose you need a milk cart which you want to bring it in, then you have to wipe that the cart. Uh, Suppose the half a gallon, the box of the milk, you have to wipe it with the alcohol wipes or one of those wipes. And if nothing else is there, just do the same thing, run under the warm water, and that should be fine.
That's great information. Actually, I think so. It's a very common question of everybody. Like they are really
It is.
confused that
It has been asked to us many, many times, and
yeah,
this is
yes. Of
yes.
course. So we'll get back to a vaccine. I was asking you, like
We were hydroxychloroquine. That's correct. So
hydrochloroquine.
yes, hydroxychloroquine has been shown to be effective in early stages, and in ICMR, Indian Council of Medical Research,
Yeah.
everybody in India actually they recommend take hydroxychloroquine one dose of 400 milligram once a week for 7 weeks. So everybody in India, the healthcare workers are taking it, and it has no major downside except some heart effects.
No.
So anybody who is suspicious about the heart problems, they should get a EKG done, and if the what they call QT interval is normal, then they should go ahead and take the hydroxychloroquine 400 milligram once a week, and that should help as a prophylaxis. If person already has symptoms, then they recommend 400 milligram twice a day on day one, and about 6 days for after that 400 milligram once a day. And people who are in, like suppose somebody who is infected and the household people in the house, they should take 400 milligram once a week as a prophylaxis. They have taken the Zithromax with that. However, Zithromax also adds up to the heart problems. So certain hospitals actually recommend take those in the supervised setting if you're going to take both. But what I recommend, if you're outpatient, just take hydroxychloroquine, finish that course, and then go on the Zithromax after that. There is a lot of negative data also. That's why we had a good word of caution on the hydroxychloroquine. There's a lot of toxicity, but all those studies are kind of done in advanced stage, and that's why when people are hospitalized and they can't breathe, that time it doesn't work. And one more thing you have to do with hydroxychloroquine is you have to take the zinc supplement with that.
Okay.
Because hydroxychloroquine is called ionophore medication. So what happens is the hydroxychloroquine works by the ionophorosis. Ionophorosis means the ions, zinc ion, has to go inside the viral cell, and then it will cause the destruction of the virus by ionophorosis. So if you don't have enough zinc in the body, it will not work. So that's for the hydroxychloroquine. Second medicine which has been approved by CDC is remdesivir by Gilead Pharmaceutical. An initial study from China came out and it says it's not working, but the studies in USA have shown that it is very helpful. But again, it is very helpful only in early stages, not in the late stage.
Oh, okay.
So when people are in the late stage, what happens is they have trouble breathing. So there is a consensus now that do not intubate these patients and keep them on the supplemental oxygen as long as you can. Because that way, once people have went on a ventilator, the chance of death have been higher because ventilator itself can cause a lot of damage to lung itself. So the people are trying to avoid intubation, and once intubated, the people's recovery becomes less and less. It's not impossible. The about 60% to 80% people have been recovered even after ventilator. However, 20%, various data is from anywhere from 20 to 40% is that they may not recover. And in that situation, they have used multiple medications. And one of the most promising thing is called plasma therapy.
Yeah.
So plasma therapy has been very popular now, and it has shown some promise. And there's still a lot of data gathering going on, and it is not been conclusively proven that it helps, but anecdotal evidence says that it is helping. It is definitely helping at certain stage of this advanced stage of this COVID-19 pneumonia, or what is it called. Having said that, as the most important part which we have to discuss is the prevention. And prevention is the key. As some wise man somewhere said that an ounce of prevention is equal to pound of cure.
Yeah.
So prevention is a key. And for prevention, frequent hand washing is extremely important. So, and just 2 minutes of hand wash is good. You make sure that you actually wash thoroughly back of the your hand, between the fingers, and those are because most the common tendency is just wash your palm and you think that you are fine, but wash it thoroughly for 2 minutes with the soap. And when you go out, protect yourself and protect others, which is make sure you have mask for yourself.
Yes.
And stay away from people at least 6 feet, because the droplets, when somebody coughs, the propagation of droplets remarkably reduces beyond 6 feet distance, which is easy to say but not easy to follow in a city like New York. That is why the lockdown, or in a city like Bombay or Delhi, you see the lockdown is extremely important. Stay in house. Have to go out, just don't go out.
And we have one more question. She's asking that is it necessary that they have to wear a mask? Can she just wrap her face with like a simple cloth? Does it work if she go out?
Anything is better than nothing, but if you can get a good mask, is always better. And because the mask or the your just handkerchief on the face or a muffler on your face or what you call scarf, it's all very helpful to protect. The protection level changes. As you know, if you have N95 mask, your protection is 99%. If you have KN95 mask, the protection is 95%. The next category they call is 3-ply mask. Then it is about 40 to 50%. If you have cloth mask, depending on the thickness of the cloth and the layers of the clothes, it will be it is less than that. So, but it's better than nothing. So as it's like imagine you are actually at the stadium, football stadium opening, and people want to rush out of the stadium with a small door. Smaller door, less people will get it.
Of course.
So that you have something covering your face, less virus will get in your throat and mouth. It's very simple. So less virus gets in the throat, less likely it will cause you problems.
Yeah, very nicely explained, I'll say. Yeah, we have a caller. Let's take one call. Yeah, you're on call with Dr. Bhayani.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can hear me?
Yes, we can. Please go ahead. Introduce yourself.
Hi. Yes, hello doctor. My name is Meeta. I'm from Tennessee, and my question is, I have family members who have asthma and diabetes, and I'm really worried because now that we've started working, and can you suggest, is there any extra precautions we can take, or how safe is it if two people are wearing masks, but the distance is not 6 feet apart? Like, how safe, how contagious it is still for especially people with no symptoms?
Yeah, so again, it's the same common sense. People who are working outside, when they come home, change all your clothes, take a shower, and use the mask in the house. And then same thing other people should do. People who have asthma and diabetes are at very, very high risk. If you can actually completely stay away and not have dinner together, lunch together, that's one ideal. So when they are in the kitchen, living room, the person should not be there. And when you are in the kitchen, living room, they should be in their own bedroom. And I know it's very difficult to live like that for long, but I think this is very important considering if the healthcare worker is working in the hospital and in a asymptomatic stage, nobody knows what's going on. Now, we have residents in our hospital. They are actually afraid to go home when they attend with these patients, and they actually stay in the Airbnb or they're renting the room in the hotel and they're staying there. There's one resident whose wife is pregnant, so he's concerned that if he gets a corona and if he doesn't know and if he gives it to his wife and the child which is not born yet, then it will be very highly complicated situation. So that is why it's advisable minimize the contact as much as you can.
Okay. Thank you so much, doctor.
You're welcome, Nita. Thank you.
Yeah, we are getting too many calls together.
Yes.
Viewers, if you are you are watching our show, just make sure when the call is done, then you please call, because non-stop calls are coming, and so many questions are there. So, but we'll definitely keep on inviting Dr. Bhayani in our studio all the time so that he is with us. Yeah. So I've just taken one more call. Hello? Yeah, you're on call with Dr. Bhayani?
Yeah, hi.
Yeah. Yeah, speak. Hello? You can speak.
Yeah. Hi, Dr. Susano.
Hello?
Yes, you can say your question. He's listening.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask more on the type 2 diabetes and COVID. So I wanted to find out what are the extreme measures for an uncontrolled diabetic patient with the COVID, apart from the regular safety measures.
No, means if the diabetes is uncontrolled, the first and foremost thing you do is control the diabetes by whatever means necessary. If you have to take insulin, control the diet. If you take those glipizide or whatever medications you are on, you must bring your diabetes under control, because uncontrolled diabetes is a very, very make your body immunocompromised. And if in case you a person gets COVID, then that person is at very high risk of getting very major complications after getting pneumonia, multi-organ failure. So critical part is please control diabetes. If your diabetes is under control, then in addition, use all other precautionary measure, social distancing, mask, prophylactic medications. You can take hydroxychloroquine 400 milligram once a week. If you are thinking that you are exposed to somebody who has COVID, that is also okay to do. And these are the various things you can do, but you have to control diabetes.
So I hope so you got the answer, and thank you so much for your call.
Thank you, Rashmi.
Thank you.
Great job.
So,
Okay.
yeah, so many things. Actually, this COVID has really make life hell of everyone, I should say, because
Yes.
everything is changed and everybody is so upset. They are getting, they are like facing a lot of stress, and it's a really worrisome situation because a lot of I'm now somebody was asking me when they're going to open their business, what's going to happen. So,
That's right. So it is very important that when you start the business again, you have to follow the same principle: protect yourself and protect others. So suppose it's a grocery store, keep the 6 feet distance between the people around you, and that is the responsibility of the many grocery stores are following that now. They're not letting people rush in inside in big numbers. The departmental stores are at least in our area are closed, but there are a lot of areas in America are open. If you don't have to go to these stores right now, don't go. Do online shopping and protect yourself. The other thing is very important. If you're a business owner, you have to make sure your employees are protected. Provide them the adequate mask and teach them about the how to frequent washing is very important. If they want to wear a gown outside their clothes, or they have some kind of uniform, that will be good. So before they go home, they can take those off and they can enter the home and then be in the normal clothes when they can be. So same the principles is again you could say just common sense, making understand the disease how it spreads. It spreads mostly by the droplets when people sneeze, when people cough, when people talk. That's why it is very, very important that you just keep the distance and wear the mask and use the prophylaxis.
yeah,
If
she is watching our show. She has a question that
yes,
how long you think that we have to wear the mask?
good question, and I wish I had that answer to that question. Otherwise, I would be on the Trump team giving the press conferences. Uh, uh, See but that brings a good question in the sense that how do we control and how the life is going to be post COVID. This is the we will
Yeah,
call as a post COVID
yeah,
era, and what we are looking forward is the treatment and how do we protect people who don't have one. So this call as the giving the vaccination, giving the passive immunity, giving the active immunity, and develop the medications which will definitely kill the coronavirus. A lot of bright minds in the world and billions of dollars are being spent
yeah.
to develop vaccines, to develop the what we call monoclonal antibodies. Plasma is one way of enhancing your immunity, because when people are giving plasma from the previous COVID positive patient, then that immunity has the plasma has those antibodies against COVID virus, and those antibodies, when you give the plasma to the next patient, it kills the virus loads into the body and it helps the patient. So, but those plasma is very difficult to process. It's giving plasma is not an easy task. You have to collect the blood, you have to screen the blood, you make sure there are no other diseases into the blood, you make sure there are enough antibodies against the corona into the blood. Then, and also the plasma, when you give somebody, it also adds the coagulability of the blood goes very high. And COVID virus itself makes your system hypercoagulable. So people taking are already hypercoagulable and taking plasma can be at very high risk of getting thromboembolic problems, which is pulmonary embolism, heart attack, or stroke.
No.
So that is why not every patient is a patient for plasma. But if you just take out the antibodies from the plasma, that is called as the monoclonal antibodies. So a lot of people are working on that, and there are many promising results. One has already happened in, if I remember correctly, I think in Italy, they just announced they have found monoclonal antibody. In the Rockefeller Center in New York, they have found monoclonal antibody, and they will have to go into mass production of monoclonal antibodies. So anybody, as soon as you suspect they have COVID, you can give those antibodies and will kill the virus right there. That is one way to control. Second way to control is, of course, everybody is vaccinated, and there are various brilliant minds working on it. Johnson & Johnson has the vaccine ready. Oxford University has a vaccine ready. The Serum Institute of India, which works with Oxford, they have the vaccine ready. And they are phase 1 trials are already going on. The Seattle has the trial going on.
But doctor, I wanted to know one thing. Israel is saying that they have got the cure and they're getting the medicine patent. So how much truth is there?
Again, everybody, the claims, as they say, proof is in the pudding. So until that pudding comes out, we just have to wait and watch. And you see all these claims. You will see, some guy in Kentucky developed some AI protocol where he can definitely know by looking at the computer feeding in data whether you have COVID virus or not. But those are all claims, and until it can be used on a mass scale, nothing is there for proof. It just means that a lot of good efforts are going on. We cannot disregard them, but we have to take them into very serious consideration only when it is proven to be effective beyond reasonable doubt.
Of course. But I think so situation is still very critical, because to do lockdown is very easy, but unlock is a major task. And what do you think on that, doctor?
Yes, that's why if you see today, actually, there is a big fight going on between Trump administration and CDC. CDC has released how do we open up slowly open up the businesses and economy. But that slow pace of the opening up the economy and businesses, the Trump administration do not agree with. So they will have to come up with some compromise and come up with some plans. Its opening has to be very slow and step-by-step manner. And the other very critical part is the widespread testing should be available so that it can test the patients and then isolate the patients and then contact around them so that other people can go on with their life. In India, they have done a very good plan. As you see, they have created these zones. Green zones, orange zones, and red zones. So Bombay is in red zone, and the Delhi is in red zone. But there are some orange zones like Pune and all these places. And green zones there are very less cases. Same way, they need to create some kind of sense out of this whole grading system in America. But the problem in the US is it's a federalist system. So the governor has a right to deny or refuse to comply with the federal guidelines. As you know, the Trump had recommended do quarantine in New York, but Governor Cuomo did not agree with that. Now, Bill Blasio wanted to keep the schools open. Governor Cuomo did not want to open the schools. So these things always go on with political posturing. And so let's see how it happens. But the slow phase of the opening of economy is very, very important. If we rush and open the businesses and people come out without masks and then no social distancing, there will be definitely a spike of coronavirus patients again. Only difference this time would be that the doctors who have taken the very big hit because inadequate protection for them when it started 8 weeks back, but now doctors have better protection. So at least they will be more ready, hospitals will be more ready. but at the same time, number of beds are limited. So we have to be very cautious about it. If there are too many cases happen, then we are in trouble. So it is very, very important.
Yeah, but doctor, I feel like it's my personal question that as we say, it's highly contagious. So after we do this, unlock is happening, and even if a single person is also there, that person is also able to spread it, and it is
Absolutely.
highly contagious. So the vaccine is very, very important. That's what I feel. Unless and until we get the vaccine, it's a fear in everybody's mind.
You are absolutely right. And that's why if you see Serum Institute of India, they actually started the production of 5 million vaccine doses each month already. They don't want to wait until the clinical trials are completed, because then very prestigious, like very valuable time is lost. If we start producing the vaccine in September, we have lost the 4 months of creating another 40 million doses. So the Punawala, who has announced that he's going to start the production from now and not wait until the trials are done. And absolutely, the vaccine will only bring the real peace of mind. Until then,
Yeah.
assume and protect yourself. And if you don't have to go out, don't have to socialize, don't go out. And it's a new era. And this is how we get our life used to it. Make sure you wear the mask, make sure you keep social distancing, and don't mix people unless you don't have to.
I have a question. She wants to know her son was COVID patient. He's a survivor now. So can it come back again?
Yes, what has happened is in China and South Korea, there are about more and more cases coming out that they're saying 5 to 15% in some reports that people can get second infection. What is happening? The reason for that is this virus is mutating very fast, and the newer strains are actually supposed to be even more virulent than the previous strain. So that's it's if you have a COVID in the past and you have what we call, when you do the test, IgG antibody, that gives the immunity. But if there is a new strain comes in the area, you probably might get it again. This likelihood is there.
Yeah, but now as we are saying the cure is here and things are happening, but China suddenly announced that everything is fine, everything is under control.
Yeah,
How
the
can it
Chinese.
happen?
Yes, definitely. They keep saying that there are a lot of issues. If you look at the way it spreads all over the world, and how come the in China it only happened to Wuhan, it did not go to Beijing or Shanghai or anywhere. So it's very what do you call this, suspicious data, and a lot which is hidden from us, and that is why there is a bill in Congress now for moving the industries from China to other countries, reduce the dependence of China on the manufacturing lines. Because when we needed the PPE, everybody had to go to China and beg for it. That we want masks, and we want ventilators, and we want this, and we want that, and it became a very, very big hurdle. So hopefully, there are many lessons to be learned from this crisis. As they say, the crisis is wasted if we don't learn anything out of it. So I'm sure these all bright people, they will not let this crisis waste. Our dependence on China has to diminish as fast as we can.
Yeah, we should
Industries
start
have to,
manufacturing here in USA, I think. So that's the
yeah,
best thing.
they have to manufacture in USA. They have to manufacture, use other countries who are more dependable, more transparent, and more reliable. And they are not there to what we call as a predator kind of mentality. While Chinese, they have a predator mentality where they want to take the control of the world and dominate the world. And India doesn't have that desire. Vietnam, Malaysia, all these countries, the Taiwan also again is coming back in action. South Korea, all these countries will be a good alternative for starting the productions and the manufacturing. And Modi actually announced a big plan this last week to lure these industries and manufacturing companies to India.
Yeah. And one more question we had from our viewer. She's asking that how safe is to order food from outside, because she's saying
Very
her
good
son
question.
doesn't listen to her. It's I think that's a very common thing.
Yes, I cannot blame him. I'm sure he's bored of her cooking. I'm just kidding. No, this happens to everybody
She's
because we are
watching
so
our show.
used to. So, as you know, and that's very, very common.
Mhm.
I would recommend the salads and the things which you cannot rewarm. Don't get it from outside. Order the food, put in the microwave 2 3 minutes,
Okay.
so that all the germs, if there are the viruses, if are there, they will be killed, and then you eat it. And that's very simple thing to do. I myself have started doing that, and you just have to use little common sense. When you open the outside box, you have to wear the gloves,
Mm-hmm.
because the outside bag and then outside containers,
Yeah.
that can spread the virus. That is
Yeah.
very critical.
Yeah.
And of course, the food can spread the virus. So you have to be every step. You just have to think:
Very
am I touching
precautions.
something which I'm not supposed to touch? So what you do is, you either, if you don't have gloves, with the hands, you open the bag, open the container, and put the food on the plate, and then go wash your hands. Throw away all those bags and containers. Warm the food in microwave, and then bring it out and eat it.
Perfect. And one more question I would like to ask you, as we are talking about the temperature, that does it matter like that when the summertime will be coming, that it's going to be less effective? Is it like that?
Yes, yes. People are hoping that these studies have shown the virus is very sensitive above 70 degrees of temperature,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like any flu virus, where as you see, the flu comes in winter, and by the time summer comes, it will disappear. So definitely there will be a hope. Let's hope, as we all say, that when the summer starts, this virus will be less prevalent as it is now.
It's really very stressful for a lot of people, and it really affects their mind.
Everybody.
That's what it is. And a lot of people have got dental issues also because of that, because it's like they're saying their tooth have started paining, and a lot of things they keep on calling. Then you had texted me before that the tooth is paining. Maybe is it because of a stress? I don't
No,
know.
the actually, I forgot to mention one of the medication which I recommend for my patients, and I did myself.
Mm-hmm.
There is a gargle called chlorhexidine,
Oh,
and the
okay.
chlorhexidine gargle is very, very effective against this coronavirus. I wish people use it more, and it's available very easily in any pharmacy. You gargle your throat, it will help your teeth as well as your coronavirus if there is any. So
That's a
gargling
good one
with
answer.
chlorhexidine is extremely helpful. Other common gargles, which are our time old fashioned: ginger, turmeric, hot water, and salt. So you can create a tea 3 4 times a day, and that hot temperature will kill the viruses in the throat. In addition, the turmeric and the ginger is always very helpful, soothing, along with salt. As you know, turmeric is an immunobooster, and it should help.
Yeah, we have one more question. I think so. You did answer, but still, she's asking. So I'll of course ask. She's asking, do we need to take shower when we go out for walking after we come home or any grocery store?
Ideally, yes, because you don't want to take any chance. That's pretty much it comes to. So if you have gone out and if you suspect you came in contact with people, then it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt. So, or what you can do is, if you take shower once a day, just before taking the shower, go out and do your grocery shopping, and then come home and take a shower.
And one more viewer is asking, sorry, that she is very particular about yoga, so corona cannot affect her. Is it like that?
No,
Is she saying?
don't be means yoga is excellent. It helps you breathing exercise. It makes your lungs stronger. But if you believe that by doing yoga you're not going to get coronavirus, that will be misleading statement, and I would absolutely deny that.
Okay, okay, of course. So that is very good. Actually, if she's thinking, maybe a lot of people must be thinking the same because maybe it's connected with immunity. It increase your immune system, so they think maybe it will not affect them. But precautions are very, very important to be taken care of.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
how, what do you think after this unlock situation? What do you suggest on this social distancing? Like how many people gathering should be, uh, they should say that how many people can gather at one time.
Means again, any one person can transmit everybody. So if you saw in White Plains, there was one Jewish guy. He infected the whole town. So there is no minimum number of people. The real minimum number of people is zero. But that is impossible to practice in this world. So you're going to be obviously meeting with people, and that person has it by chance, you're going to get it. It's not like you need to get it from 10 people to be effective or to get sick. If you can get from one person, you can get equally sick. The key is until you are vaccinated, assume everybody around you has a corona and protect yourself. And same thing, when you go out, assume you actually have it and from you nobody else gets it. So protect others.
Of course, of course. It's responsibility of each and every citizen to make
Everybody.
sure that we are securing each other. It's very, very important, and we have to fight with this with togetherness.
That's correct.
Otherwise, it's going to be really bad. And one last question I'll take that she is asking, as you told that the food should be hot all the time. So, is it not safe to eat ice cream at this time?
Means yes, I would say if the ice cream is inside the sealed container,
Mm-hmm.
like Haagen-Dazs or something, which is been sealed a while back, I think that should be okay. But if you're going on the ice cream truck and buying the ice cream, that's very wrong thing to do.
Okay, perfect, perfect. It's really nice. I think so. It's very informative, actually, doctor, and it's really great to have you on our show today because I feel you have to come more now on our show because people really want to
Definitely.
know more and more like how to be safe. And actually, it's more depressing. And sitting at home, people are getting negative, and
It
how much
is.
like when it started they were like, okay, let's eat something, let's cook. How much they will eat, how much they are going to cook, and how much they're going to talk. So we all are used to working a lot. That's what I feel. We have that sort of routine. We have been working 5 days and 2 days we are chilling, but still some other activities going on, but they feel they are just doing nothing right now and it's becoming
Yeah.
stressful. So I
So
really,
that's where that yoga will be very helpful. See, mental issues during this lockdown are very common,
yeah.
and there are a lot of helplines available for people who actually have corona. They're going to be very scared and depressed. What's going to happen to them? And people who don't have corona, they'll be panicking and they'll be very afraid and they'll be very depressed. That's from the corona aspect.
So
But social lockdown, social distancing, as you know, man is called as a social animal, and if we don't socialize, we will feel depressed, we will feel lonely, we'll feel isolated. And those during this time, uh, we are in the good era of social media, and so this is the time, if you really wanted to go on Facebook and WhatsApp and then video chats and these Zoom chats and then these Skype programs,
yeah.
use it freely and enjoy. If you wanted to develop some hobby, my friend Dr. Vinod Shah, he is doing one painting every day. He has already
Wow,
done 30, 40 paintings.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So you don't have to be a great artist, but he's really good at it. But you don't have to be a good
of
artist,
course, of course.
and you just do painting. You wanted to learn singing, go on YouTube, sing with that, do some karaoke. Just keep yourself
Yeah,
entertained,
we need to
keep
keep
yourself
ourselves positive.
busy,
Uh,
and if still that doesn't work, all these hotlines every state has helpline for depressed people. Call them. Mental issues during this time is very common. It is very real, and don't feel that, oh, how can I tell somebody because I cannot say anybody I'm depressed. There is nothing to be ashamed that if you admit that you are depressed.
yes.
In fact, that will help to get that burden off your chest. It will make you feel good. It will make other people realize that you need help, and they'll be more considerate about you. They're more kind towards you. So just whatever you feel, express it freely to your people close to you, and connect with people in any way you can. Uh, Video chatting is as good as now as if you are meeting in person. Now I'm talking with Rashmiji right now. We feel like we are in the same room.
Of course, yes.
And
You are our
yeah,
guest today, I feel. You
exactly.
are sitting with
Yeah,
me here. Of course.
yeah,
I'll take one
exactly.
more question, doctor.
Yeah.
Is it safe to use common laundry in the building or laundromat?
Yes, means definitely means before putting in a load, but generally should be okay. But make sure that when you open the door of the that drum,
Mm-hmm.
the drum is either you use a gloves or you wipe it with something and then open it, or you can just use a simple tissue paper if you don't have gloves, and then hold in the hand your tissue paper or any napkin, open the drum and throw it away. And then inside, because it's a cycle and it's detergent, it's already ran. If you're really worried, run it twice.
Perfect.
Your clothes.
Perfect.
Yeah.
थैंक यू सो मच फॉर योर आंसर डॉक्टर आई थिंक सो आज आपने हमारे व्यूअर्स को बहुत खुश कर दिया और सब बहुत रिलैक्स फील कर रहे हैं एंड नेक्स्ट टाइम वील अपडेट दैम वील बी टेकिंग द लाइव कॉल्स ऑन आवर शो एंड डॉक्टर भयानी विल बी रिक्वेस्टिंग यू टू कम बैक अगेन on our show and we can have more information and it's really great that you have spread so much of positivity in our viewers and it's great and coming from you of course जब डॉक्टर बोलते तब एक अलग ही विश्वास बनता है कि यस ही सेइंग इट मस्ट बी करेक्ट और आप हमें सही दिशा में और सही रास्ता ही बताएंगे आई टोटली एग्री ऑन
Yeah.
दैट सो थैंक यू
Yes.
सो
So just
मच
don't.
डॉक्टर
Correct.
yeah but before
Don't be
we end we
afraid.
need lot of
Don't
tips
panic.
from you actually for our viewers
Yes. So only last closing statement. Don't be afraid. Don't panic. Be cautious. Be protective. Protect yourself. Protect others. And thank you, Rashmiji and Janakji, for this wonderful platform and giving the opportunity to interact with your viewers. And definitely, we'll probably bring more experts next time who can be on our panel, so that we everybody can. It's a good having a good team
yeah
will always very helpful
of course
and get different perspectives about different aspects of this very deadly disease. And but stay positive. That's what I can say.
very true and we always request all our viewers maintain your positivity all the time things will be better we'll be back to our normal life just stay negative for coronavirus that's all and thank you Dr. Raj Bhayani for your time it was
Thank,
great talking to you thank you so much for this informative session thank you
thank you again. Okay.